Howdy folks, today we are talking about this. The 2022 Porsche GTS with 7-speed manual. In a world obsessed with dual clutch automatics and fastest lap times, this might just be the last chance to experience a modern Porsche 911 the old school way, with 3 pedals and a real connection to the car, rowing through the gears on a back road, being one with the drive. I'm going to show you why this might be the ultimate 911, what makes it so special, and why I think it might be one of the last true manual 911s that Porsche might ever build. And if you're in the market for a sophisticated, modern 911 with an old school charm, then you need to go out and buy this car. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm Derek, and welcome to 11 After 9. Let's talk about why owning a manual 911 matters today. For decades, the 911 has been defined by its driver connection. It's you, the engine, and the road. Think about early air-cooled 911s, 964s, 993s, even going back to the G-body cars. Manuals were the default. They were all about the tactile feeling of shifting for yourself, of rev matching on those downshifts, and of working the clutch just right. There's no better feeling than coming out of a turn, shifting up a gear, and feeling that perfect connection between you and the machine. The automatics at the time were generally slower, clunkier, wouldn't hold revs, and were never the first option. So fast forward to today, most 911s now come standard with PDK, Porsche's dual clutch transmission, and don't get me wrong, PDK is incredible, it's faster than you could ever shift, but it's just not as involving. And I know a lot of people say that you leave it in sport mode and you can manually shift with the paddles, and that is completely true. But I'll still make the point that it's not as involving as that wonderful dance that you're doing with your arms and your legs to extract every ounce of performance for your car. So the 2022 GTS is special because it's one of the last chances you'll have to get a manual in a performance-focused 911. In the next generation, the 992.2, currently only the Carrera T will offer it. And so this GTS might just be one of the last cars that you can get. Okay, let's get nerdy for a second because the specs on this thing are pretty awesome. Under the hood, you have a 3-liter twin-turbo flat 6, which is putting out about 473 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. That's more than the Carrera S, but it's not quite the GT3 level, which is over the 500 mark. But it is a perfect middle ground between the two. This has a 7-speed manual and it'll do 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. Now people will say, well, the PDKs can do it a lot faster. Define faster. Can you imagine saying that a car is quote-unquote slow if you can shift it manually and you're still doing 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds? The GTS model also brings almost half an inch lower suspension, Porsche Sport exhaust, PSE, dynamic engine mounts, Sport Plus mode. It comes with the turbo brake system and also has the very cool looking center lock wheels. Additionally, if you were to have ordered it new, you could have got the lightweight package. It shaves about 55 pounds off the car. You get some serious bucket seats, thinner glass, etc. But whether that brings a more focused drive, I guess that's really up to the person. Inside, it's all classic 911. The shifter's perfectly placed, the pedals are set up for heel toe, and you truly feel like you are someplace special when you're behind the wheel. In addition, in sport mode, you have the ability to rev match, and so if heel toe isn't quite your forte and you're still working on it, you can practice it, but you do have the ability to have an auto blip as you downshift, which absolutely sounds amazing. So admittedly, I was really worried about test driving this car. This is my buddy's car, and aesthetically, it's absolutely gorgeous. Having driven and owned quite a few of the older 911s, and by that I mean probably 10 years older than this car, I was really nervous about the potential disappointment of getting behind the wheel and having it be too digital, too sanitized. Well, I can honestly say that if I could use one word to describe my drive in the car, it was engaging. I was pleasantly surprised to find that the DNA of Porsche still ran true in this car. I actually had taken my 1972 911 as the camera car, and so getting out of that and getting into this spaceship, believe it or not, I could absolutely feel through the steering, through the way it handled, the way it was composed around corners, that there was a direct connection to the lineage of the older car. The clutch is light and it has great feedback. You know exactly where the bite point is. The shifter itself was short and mechanical and precise. I believe it was physically just a little bit shorter than the Carrera S stick, but every throw felt perfectly dialed in. The sound, man, it's addictive. You get that classic flat 6 snarl, It was a bit muted by the turbos, admittedly, but it was still there, especially when you're pushing it. This car had a really cool kind of Jekyll and Hyde feel about it, because if you didn't go too deep into the pedal, the turbos never kicked in, and so you could ride the RPMs up and enjoy the sound of the motor. But if you really got into the pedal, you felt the boost build, and that car rocketed forward like a missile. On twisty roads, the 911's balance really shone through. It's a big car, and there's no lie about it. It did take up most of the lane, but as you're going, it felt smaller and smaller. The worry is, because of the dimensions, it would feel a bit like a bus, and that wasn't the case at all. The steering is heavy in a good way, it's natural, direct, and it's always telling you what's happening. I was thinking to myself as I was driving it, especially around a hairpin corner, that this car has the unique ability to make every curvy road feel straight. It's so planted, and the chassis is so dialed in, that the car handles those curves as if they weren't even there. So in essence, when it comes to driving, this car really preserves the process of driving, the tradition of driving. It's not just about the numbers. Now, I haven't driven this car in a PDK form, and let's be real, the PDK is faster. No human can outshift it, but here's my main point. Driving just isn't about overall speed. With a manual, every shift is yours. It's not computer perfect. Your foot, your timing, your rev match, it's a skill, it's a dance, and oftentimes, especially if you're me, it's done badly. But that doesn't mean it takes any of the fun out of the drive. In the GTS, the manual transforms the experience from really fast car to I'm part of this car. So if you're a track junkie and you're chasing tenths of a second, sure, PDK all day. But if you want to feel every shift to be part of the experience, there really is no substitute for the manual. I am not one of those people that think that a 7-speed manual is some sort of abomination. I applaud Porsche for adhering to overall guidelines put in by various governments in terms of economy, while still preserving the interaction with the car that we all love. Unfortunately, it might just be the last of its kind. Here's a reality check. This might be the last time Porsche ever builds a car like this. The future is hybrid, it's electric, it's automatic everything, it's torque fill, it's battery power. There's no more GTS manual, as that is now a hybrid. This makes this car special. It's not just a driver's car, but you could look at it as a future collectible. 10 years from now, people are going to look back and realize just how rare these manual GTSs really were. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the connection, and it's getting rarer every day. So for those of you that are looking at this car, you might ask yourself, could this be a daily driver, or is it just a weekend toy? You might think this is a performance car, must be brutal to live with. But here's the thing, it's surprisingly usable. The ride, it's stiff, it's taut, sure, but it soaks up bumps a lot better than you think. Visibility, classic 911. Great sight lines. You do sit down in the car, the belt line of the car is a little bit higher, so you really feel like you're in a cockpit. Inside, you have all the modern tech, you have CarPlay, a great sound system, and enough comfort to use this as a daily if you're a little bit crazy like me. But I can say this, the car belongs to my buddy and he drives it every day. And really, just talking about practicality, when we talk about daily driving, believe it or not, in tests, this car shows 32 miles per gallon. And so if the car you were to buy has the larger gas tank at 23.7 gallons, that means you could potentially get 750 miles out of a tank of gas. That's insane for a high-end sports car like this. So while you can take it on the track and it will be an absolute monster, more importantly, you can take it to work or take it on a road trip. It's that dual personality that makes this so good. So to wrap it up, why is the 2022 Porsche 911 GTS manual the ultimate driver's 911? It's because this is the last time that Porsche might give us a manual that's truly a driver's car. It's a car that doesn't compromise comfort for performance or vice versa. If you're even thinking about getting one of these cars, do it, because these cars are rare and they will not be around forever. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Would you take a manual GTS over a PDK? Drop a comment. As you all know, I love to respond to the comments and I really appreciate the feedback. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'm excited to make the next one for you.